Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang.
The working man's a sucker, that's for damn sure.
You said it.
Oh, yeah. Well, come on home to me, baby.
Hey everybody, what is up? My name is Martin and welcome to AAA Digest. So we decided to upload another Mafia video to tame your fix, you bloody addicts. So here's another video revolving around what Mafia 4 can learn from the previous Mafia titles in the series. And this one revolves around Mafia 2 in particular. And as I said before, we're not making Mafia videos constantly, but we will have the odd video up in here just because we love Mafia and it's a small way of saying, hey, we want Mafia 4. And because we're forever YouTube's Mafia guys in the eyes of some people. So here are 5 positives from Mafia 2 that Mafia 4 should learn from and expand upon, and the negatives will be covered in tomorrow's Mafia video. Number 1, a chapter-based story with a real sense of time passing. So Mafia 2 offers a prime example of what the series does best, a third-person cover shooter with a linear mission structure in a compact open world that provides some memorable set-piece missions that come during cutscenes and through its extremely focused gameplay. And Mafia 4 can learn from having a similar focus, with gameplay feeding the main narrative, as Mafia 2's chapter-based story begins during July of 1943 and ends 8 years later on September 26, 1951, which allows the player to witness multiple seasons and observe a meaningful transitional period for our main protagonist Vito and his family. And it felt like a long-term journey throughout almost a decade with one character, instead of Mafia 3's 1 year with Lincoln Clay. And 2K Tech did an excellent job at showcasing a real sense of time passing throughout the game and character growth throughout each chapter. Like an example in Time Well Spent, that was based in a unique one-off setting for the game, seeing Vito in prison, and Mafia 4 can really take note by ensuring that the majority of chapters offer us something new and fresh by bringing us to locations that are exclusive to specific chapters, just like Mafia 2. Number 2, customization. So this was huge for Mafia 2, being able to customize any vehicle off the street and make it your own, and improving the vehicle's overall performance, paint job, and creating a custom license plate. Then having a range of clothing options for Vito, although it was perhaps limited in that regard, it still allowed for a small amount of ownership over our protagonist and his vehicle through customizing their appearance and their cars. And that's something Mafia 4 needs at launch, more ways to spend money on our protagonist's appearance, which in turn fills the world with more clothing stores that can be interacted with, so it makes a more interactive open world just through one little decision, and also give us some low and high-end gunsmiths that offer exclusive weapons. Number 3, Mafia 2's collective story. Now, one of the major highlights of Mafia comes from a large number of missions that involve several characters. The majority of my most memorable gameplay moments in the Mafia series have come from the missions in which Vito is accompanied by a friend, which seriously helps develop a relationship between Vito, Joe, Henry, Leo, and the player. Sneaking around Leo's house, selling cigarettes with Joe and Marty, taking out Sidney Penn alongside Henry and Joe. Simply having missions in which our leading protagonist is joined by other characters can seriously turn a rather basic level, to some extent, into a more memorable experience just through the banter and interaction with the characters. And then seeing them during combat, allowing our protagonist to bounce his personality off theirs during gameplay, and hearing Joe's classic "you shoot like my sister" line, or "you drive like my grandma," as you cautiously attempted to refrain from breaking the law while driving. It's something that a potential Mafia 4 can learn from, make us feel like we're a part of a Mafia family, and that these side characters actually play a role in our story. Number 4, the ending. Now, this opinion may place me within a minority, yet Mafia 2's ending is one of the most memorable experiences I've had in gaming. As Vito enters Leo Galante's car thinking he and Joe actually pulled off a miracle by stopping Carlo Falcone, then only to be informed that Leo's deal only covered Vito, and to helplessly watch on as Joe is driven away in the other car as the credits roll, leaving Vito and the player to their own thoughts of Joe's likely death, or a crazier conclusion that Vito somehow hopped out of the car and risked everything to save his best friend. And I know Mafia 2's ending annoys a lot of people as a lackluster conclusion, but I personally loved that the ending was so open to interpretation and led to so much discussion and debate throughout the years. Just a shame Mafia 3 kind of butchered and wasted that Joe reveal. But what I'm trying to say is not every story needs closure, especially in a series like Mafia, it's very fitting considering the dangers that are presented, and I think Mafia 2's ending and how it was delivered can really be learned from in Mafia 4. And number 5, and the final positive I'm going to mention, is the attention to detail. So Mafia 2's small features, refueling Vito's car, having significant moments from history being broadcasted through the in-game radio, and hearing characters discuss events with Vito at the beginning of the game, police officers interviewing witnesses, pulling civilians over, and Vito for speeding, and there are just so many small details to learn from in Mafia 2 that I personally hope we see expanded upon in a future game. The voice acting, and the detail in cutscenes, being able to stop at a diner and eat, the use of music during gameplay to create more of a moment, and the game's melee system, although it was rather basic with a light heavy attack style with a block and counter option, yet and all the attention to detail is what I appreciate most of Mafia 2, and it should be learned from, and I hope that whoever develops Mafia 4, and if it ever happens, we see that type of attention to detail yet again. But yeah, that is it in regards to positives. Tomorrow's video will cover the negatives regarding Mafia 2, and I will aim for an equal amount of points, but most importantly, what do you guys think Mafia 4 can learn from Mafia 2 in regards to positives or negatives? Because this is always about your opinion, not just mine. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. My name is Martin, one half of the Mafia guys apparently, and for more content like this, stay tuned here on AAA Digest.